Look at the people training in the videos from the first group and the second group. Do you notice the difference? I'm not referring to steroids at the moment. The athletes in Group 2 are giving their best, without hesitation, expressing emotions and facial expressions. Why do they do this? First, this helps them to strain and stimulate their nervous system more, allowing them to withstand more stress. Second, and more importantly, emotions activate the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex sends signals to the body to produce hormones, specifically, the hormone responsible for building skeletal muscle, testosterone. It turns out, in order to grow muscles more effectively, we need to get emotionally involved in the gym. Should we scream, clench our teeth, strain our facial muscles, or smile? If we train phlegmatically and thoughtfully, would our results be worse? That's right. Now, let me explain why from a scientific perspective. The first thing I want to clarify is that muscles only grow from mechanical stress. The amount of stress and the time spent under stress is what sends a signal to our body. Houston, we have a problem. It's urgent that we increase the amount of our muscle mass to ensure the survival of the pilot. Our body has a dynamic equilibrium called homeostasis, which is maintained in tissues and organs. This equilibrium is the state that the body tries to maintain if the external circumstances doesn't change. When we do physical activity, like going to the gym or playing other sports, our body is removed from this state of homeostasis and enters a state of searching for new balance. This is what happens when we lift weights. The body tries to build enough muscles to cope with the increased physical stress. If the stress continues to grow, the body will not be able to keep up with it in its current state. To continue growing muscles, we need to increase the amount of physical stress and time we spend under stress, so the search for a new equilibrium doesn't stop. Okay, we've covered that. Mechanical stress builds our muscles. But what do emotions have to do with all this? Take your time, we'll come back to this a little bit later. The next thing we need to discuss is testosterone. Testosterone is a hormone that triggers the process of muscle growth. It sends a signal to the cells to create new protein compounds to help the body adjust to its new homeostasis. In fact, I could have started with testosterone instead of mechanical stress, and that's why. There is research that you can easy to Google. 43 men were divided into 4 groups. One group received a placebo and did not exercise. Another group received testosterone and did not exercise. A third group received a placebo but trained in the gym 3 times a week. And the fourth group received testosterone and trained 3 times a week. Can you guess the results? The group with the worst results was the one that received a placebo without training. The best results were in the group that received testosterone and trained. However, the most important finding was that the group that received testosterone without training had a 50% improvement compared to the group that got a placebo and trained. Do you understand? The group that didn't exercise at all but received injections of testosterone gained 1.5 times more muscle than the group that didn't receive testosterone and worked out in the gym. Anabolic steroids, by the way, are varieties of testosterone with different mechanisms of action and potential side effects. So, what happens? Is it possible to not receive mechanical stress and still grow muscles? Well, yes, that's true. I'm sure you know someone who seems to grow muscles just by walking or breathing a little bit in the gym, while you work hard 3 times a week and never seem to get to their level. It's all about the difference in testosterone levels in your bodies. However, there is a biological limit to this. The body doesn't need too much muscle if we don't lift heavy weights. So at some point, the body will stop building muscle and a mechanical stress will be necessary. Okay, so we know testosterone is responsible for protein synthesis and muscle growth, and mechanical stress is necessary for muscle development. But what about emotions? How can phlegm and stolid affect muscle growth? Let me explain. As I mentioned at the beginning, emotions activate the cerebral cortex, specifically the frontal lobes. These frontal lobes then directly affect the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus, which are the parts of the brain responsible for signaling the production of testosterone. This may sound complicated, but let me try to simplify it. When we show emotions like tension or struggle, like when we shout, clench our teeth, or smile aggressively, we send a signal to our brains that we are engaging in something similar to a struggle for survival. In response, the brain releases testosterone, the hormone associated with competition, to help us fight more effectively for life. The brain literally helps us to survive by preparing us for physical activity, but it doesn't realize that we're just training and not actually trying to survive in a real-life situation. If we use these emotions during every training session with a mechanical stress, the body will become accustomed to producing large amounts of testosterone. Emotions will literally shift our body's homeostasis towards producing more testosterone, and more testosterone will allow the body to synthesize more proteins, specifically muscles. What happens as a result? Showing emotion does not immediately increase the size of your muscles. It's unlikely that you'll be able to lift significantly more than your maximum by simply gritting your teeth. However, if you train consistently, without fear of getting emotional, screaming, or sighing, you will naturally increase your testosterone levels over time. This will lead to faster muscle growth in the long run. I'm talking about this because it's something I've experienced personally. For 3 years, I trained in the gym while listening to chill, relaxing music on headphones and approached the gym with a calm and phlegmatic attitude, lifting weights without any emotional attachment. However, as soon as I learned about neuroscience, I realized that we can learn to manage our hormones and emotions, and that gym workouts can be a great example of this. Now, I scream and jump while listening to music that energizes me, and my progress has been much faster in the last 6 months than in the previous 3 years. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I use scientific research and personal experience to help me become stronger, and I hope it can also help you become stronger in all aspects of your life. So I highly recommend you to subscribe on my channel. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or you want to share your own experiences, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments. My mission is to initiate you. Be stronger.